Canada. The rock wall is done. We're going to look at it. When the glue expands like this, you can pull it away, tuck it in, and it gets really hard. Everything will be stuck. You can take away the excess bits before it gets too hard. You can cut that away and stick moss in the cracks. But it sticks everything super hard. Like, I'll probably just stick moss in the cracks. I don't have any fresh moss. I have to get some, but you can push it down to hide it. It's quite tough, that foam. Cut it away or push it down or stick moss in to hide it. But it basically sticks everything really well and it expands. So I'll have to go there and touch it up a bit more with the moss. So the new liner's in there. This is the same. It's windy, hot and dry. And this is what it looks like. I've used the rattlesnake boards to make a nice edge. Over there it's all nice and secured and screwed down. And it helps hide the liner on the edge so that it doesn't wear. There's nobody in this pond right now. Bear, what is it, Bear? Because I have them all up here. Bear! Come on, Bear. It's okay. It's okay, Bear. Bear wants to come say hi. The big, I was watering down there, so the hose, I moved some of the tomatoes over there because it's just too hot today. Everything's super hot. And the big giant koi went down to the bottom. There's one of them. Oh, there's another one. How big they are. I moved them easily in a big silky type sheet. I laid the sheet, so I lowered the water over there before I put the new liner in to about a foot and slipped the sheet down, let them swim over the sheet, then threw the sheet over top of them, gently hoisted them out, and they slipped right out of the sheet really nice. And the aquatic mint is coming very nice. Smells nice, and there's little ladybugs. Makes a nice marsh. Some of the smaller koi will come down here eventually because I've opened up the water gate. There's not a gate. The gate's over there now. I don't know if you can see. It's a plastic gate to keep the koi from going into the goldfish ponds. Oh, is it hot today? Just hot. Hot, hot, hot. And dry. But everything's looking really good. And those big koi like it in that big giant marsh there. It's a big giant marsh. Aquatic mint just runs all over the pond. It's unruly like this one here. But it'll poke up and make a nice flowers and a nice bush. Basically, the bush over there is potted, but it jumps out. Right? It runs all over the place, like this one here. Runs all over the place. Yeah, so this is the 5-foot deep pond. And the two biggest koi that are like 26 years old that were in the 3-foot pond forever are now in the 5-foot pond. And this pond is bigger than that pond. They're both the same length this way, but this one has an extra 2 feet. So it looks like a square, whereas that looks like a rectangle. And the wood's all glued down pretty good. I'll touch it up like it's solid. Everything is pretty much solid. The glue has made everything nice and solid. And I can get some more moss. Oh, here's the real moss. Right here, I wanted to show you. Real moss in your pond. Alright, there's a little frog. This moss is moss that I just found growing in a shady area around the yard. If you can't find moss growing around your yard, well, I don't know, maybe your climate isn't conducive to moss. But if you do have moss, or you can acquire some moss, you can make it grow. If your pond is always at the same level. Like this pond here, the level never changes because it's a flow through. So it never floods and it never shrinks. It's always at the same level. So the moss won't flood out and it just permanently stays wet. And it's growing on these porous rocks, and this is a piece of wood that it's like knitted right on. There's some more moss, and I've transplanted some moss today on this porous rock. It's starting to green up. Let me get that one growing right there. And because this is a porous rock as well, so it should grow the